Well, good morning. Today is November 2nd, 2023, and it is early, and it's still Halloween. You can tell by the decorations behind me. Lori puts up decorations every year for the different holidays, and the Halloween decorations this year attracted probably 20 trick-or-treaters, and I really enjoy the little kids coming to the door. Trick-or-treat, they're all so little cute and innocent with their bags full of candy, and most of them had their mothers behind them, which I wholeheartedly approve of. Now, in this neighborhood, a lot of the trick-or-treaters are imported by car, and there aren't that many kids in this actual neighborhood. I live in South Fork, that's what it's called, near Eastern and St. Rose Parkway here in Henderson, Nevada. And when I go outside on the street, I can see all the way across the Vegas Valley, northwest, probably 25 miles. I get up in the morning and go outside to check the temperature and look at the yard, check my car, general condition of the world, and I really enjoy just looking out that direction and seeing the clear air and the mountains and the shadows coming across. So mornings in Vegas is really pleasant. I enjoy living here, I really do. And today I'm just going to talk about where I am and what am I doing. I get up in the morning at 69 years old right now wondering, what the hell, man? There's a legacy of life that boils in my mind. Some days I wake up and I'm thinking about being 6 years old in Gulf Breeze, waking up on those warm, humid days and playing with my pile of bricks and army men in the yard, running around the neighborhood with my friends, riding my bike. Some days I wake up and I'm 40 years old in midlife crisis, trying to get over a divorce and relocating to Chicago. What it was like to tromp through the snow for the first time. Just a variety of episodes and vignettes of a fairly long life. And I'm not over the hill and out the door just yet. I'd like to think I've got at least 15, 20 more years. Imagine that, 20 years. I'd be as old as my father was when he died. He was 90, give me 89, close enough. And I watched the decline of his health. I've seen my mother get older, so I know what the next few years are going to be like for me. 70s, still some physical vitality to get around, slowing down. By 80, sitting down, and then I don't know what. I stay fairly active right now. There's not a whole lot for me to do, actually. I still do the yard work, wash my car. Sometimes I walk around the neighborhood, which is about a mile walk if I do it twice. I don't know, the camera. Well, wouldn't you know, right in the middle of this vignette, the camera battery died. That would be interesting little splice when I do the editing on this. But anyway, I was talking about where I am and what I'm doing right now. It's really important. I mean, I'm here now and I'm doing this. I guess I've taken pause now to wonder about this because of the death of my father, for one thing, and trying to settle his estate and come to some financial resolution in my life. Alan and I have been personal representatives of my dad's estate, and he left $1.2 million in cash and property. And a lot of that cash was designated to certain people by pay on death beneficiaries. So Alan and Eric and I got a certain sum of money. Starla got some money, and some charities got some money, and they left a little bit of cash residue. Now, in 1980, my dad bought my house on 17 Carolyn Way and then deeded it to Pam and I as a gift. I took over the balance of the mortgage. So I got $10,000 in property value in 1980 from my dad, and I paid the mortgage and lived in that house until I sold it in 1988. So my dad's life progresses, and he sells the house in Scenic Hills and buys his property on Frank Reeder Road in Beulah, and decides that he's going to bequeath that property to Alan, Karen, and Erica and leave me out because he said he gave me a piece of property. Well, apples to apples, but my apple was rotten 40 years ago, and that property has ascended in value tremendously, and now Karen's dead. So when he died, to be fair between Alan and Erica and me, I suggested, and this was accepted by Alan and Erica, that I just receive Karen's portion of the property. But the way the will was written and the way it's handled in probate court, I could not be placed on the title to the property. So I felt ripped off, probably to the tune of somewhere around $160,000 in value. Fortunately, there was that much cash left, and I agreed with Alan and Erica to sell my part of the estate instead of property in cash, and that's still somewhat in limbo because Erica has to sign papers and it has to be processed, and then I'll be set for life, so to speak. I'll have my full inheritance with nothing else forthcoming, and it'll give me a plan of action based on cash about what to do next. And I've got 20 years at least. I'd like to think maybe 30 if I could live to be 100, to live on a certain balance of money and property and goods and health. Now, I can't do a whole lot about the money except not spend it and moderate my expenses and investments to stay afloat financially, and I think there'll be enough money to do that because, after all, I am the mad scientist of money. As far as where to live, I'm renting a house here in Henderson right now, and it's a nice house, and it's cost me about $1,700 a month. Now, if I were to take part of my inheritance and buy a house, then I'd have to consider the balance on a mortgage and what would those payments be. And in today's housing market, I would be living in a lower quality of life than I am now. And by my calculations, the mortgage balance I'd have to accrue and work on would be equal in monthly payments to my rent right now. So that really begs the question of whether it's a good thing to do over the next 7 years is to own a house, receive really no tax benefit from it, moderate my rent, avoid being kicked out by a landlord. So there's some upside to do that. But then there's also those roots in the ground of where I live and can't get out of a house without a lot of turmoil of selling. The make or buy decision, the stay or go decision, and I just don't know what to do. I like the freedom that I can not be anchored down anywhere, but then there's the benefits of that. So it's a quandary, really is for me. I'm in Nevada, 4 or 5 states away from any of my family. Forget my children. I love my kids, but there's no way I'd want to be in daily contact with any of them except to say hello. They don't really call me unless they want something, money in particular. And that's a dissolved relationship from a long time ago. I've grown closer with Alan over this estate business, but he's got his own life issues and family to deal with, and I'm a third wheel to that. So I feel isolated a lot. And that's not a problem because I do have my interest, hobby interest of photography, and I like to read. I'm studying Spanish. I continue to work on playing the piano. So personally, I have a lot to absorb my free time, but it's not very sociable to be alone all the time. Got a few familiar friends that I know here in Vegas, the valets down at El Cortez and the ladies behind the bowling counter at South Point, and that's about it. The next door neighbors wave occasionally. So I don't have many friends. I know people through Facebook, rekindle acquaintances from the past. But really, I feel disappointed that I don't hear my phone ring very often or get too many chat opportunities and carry on a conversation with many people at all. And that might just be a feature of today's society of doing everything with electronic media, text in particular, uh, Facebook. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Instagram. Uh, what's the other one? TikTok. Those are entertaining little things, but I don't do that. It's just overload. Watching TV, that's another thing you can do to occupy your time. And I subscribe to Netflix, which has gone up in price. I don't watch much on that. It's kind of a waste of time. Paramount Plus has some really cool stuff. Apple TV has some stuff. So, I've got plenty of opportunity in TV, and I've been watching The Munsters lately. So my TV opportunities have been retro to the times in the past, watching Star Trek again. And then there are a lot of new streaming shows that are really interesting, so that's not a problem. I mean, it's an overload problem, which isn't necessarily bad. So, money, friends, occupying my free time. And then what about my health? I have never been in the hospital. I've never broken a bone. I haven't been seriously ill with any sort of malady other than common head cold. Over the years, I've had to start taking blood pressure pills. About 10 years ago, a real mild case of high blood pressure. Triglycerides have run high. The doctor thinks I have something called metabolic syndrome. So I try to watch my diet, and I take pills to abate high triglycerides, but apparently haven't developed any problem because of that. I wear glasses, but really these are just for reading. I've got astigmatism in one eye or the other. I can tell by the way I twist my glasses. Let's see, a little bit in both eyes, but worse over here on the left eye. And the rest of it is just to read up close, so I can see my fingerprints even right at the end of my nose. And a lot of times I spend this looking over the top of the glasses like this to watch TV or read the computer screens. So I went to the eye doctor to get a new prescription after 5 years. I thought it was time to do that, and got these new frames. And that's when Dr. Emily Fant at Shepherd Eye Center discovered that I have borderline high glaucoma. They don't do the air blast on your eye. They actually touch your eyeball with something. They have a different method for doing it. And whatever the range is, when it's over 120, well, that's high, and I was like at 125, so I'm at the high edge of being high-level glaucoma. And I went back again to test it again, and it was the same reading, and I'm going back in January again to check it one more time. And if it's high then I'm going to have to take medicine or eye drops to avoid continuing problems of glaucoma. Now, Dr. France says I don't have any real eye problems because of glaucoma. That's certainly something you don't want to continue. So, God damn it, more medicines. I still weigh 199. I was up to 221. Started doing Noom to lose weight, watching calories and watching it. Was very stringent about those calories, and I dropped down to 195 and then would not budge from March until late in the summer. So I still watch my calories, but I've lightened up on what I eat. I quit eating seeds and grass, and I started eating meat and fast food. I even had a milkshake yesterday. As long as I count the calories and try to keep it around 1,500, I probably won't gain back the other 20 pounds, but I just can't seem to shed that. And sometime during the summer I got constipated. I hate to say that, but it happens. And it was severe, 3 or 4 days, and I didn't want to take laxatives because I'm afraid of becoming addicted to laxatives. But I took those little orange pills anyway and shit my brains out. And then it happened again, so I was grunting away, and apparently I created an umbilical hernia. I literally busted a gut from trying to crap out a turd. I've got this little bubble above my navel that's sore, and it doesn't hurt when I cough or do anything, but it's just this little bubble of tissue above my navel that's sore. It's not hurting right now, but sometimes it does. So next time I go see my doctor, I'm going to tell him about it. And I've already done a little bit of reading on WebMD that the only way to cure an umbilical hernia is with surgery. I've never been in the hospital and I've never had surgery except for a vasectomy, if you want to call that surgery, and really it is, but not for any medical reason. That was optional. So now I might have to do it because of actual need to have surgery for umbilical hernia. Motherfucker, that's all I gotta say. Well, I almost got almost to 70 years old without needing surgery, so congratulations to me. But it's just an omen of the future that my body is breaking down. I can't lose the weight. My sleep schedules are just erratic. Umbilical hernia. What else hurts? I've been having a little just soreness in my shoulders, and I don't understand why. I think it's muscles, but that's developed lately, and it's been persistent. My knees, are stretched sometimes trying to stand up. I actually had an incident this summer where I would bend over to pick up a cat toy like I normally just reach down and get it, and I toppled over. I actually fell down once by accident, by carelessness, by lack of physical ability to maintain my balance, probably. People, fall down, they break a hip, they fall down and bang their head like my dad did in his later years, big gashes on his head. Happened several times. Fall down and can't get up like my dad and like my Uncle Louis when that happened to him. So damn, man, is this what I got to look forward to in the next few years? I need to walk around with my cane and put on a helmet to make sure I don't bang my head, stay still, or do I go for the gusto and stay active and try to keep my vigor? I don't think you can save your vigor at a certain age of life. You may stave off the real problems of old age. But I think that's the gist of what I'm saying now, is that at this age, I've taken an assessment lately. Financially, I think I'm over the hill. If I can solve this issue of closing out the estate, figuring out where I'm going to live, that's still kind of up the air, but not really a problem, just a dilemma of finance because of the local real estate markets and interest rates in the economy we have right now. Trying to maintain mental facility by having educated or involving hobbies like reading, studying photography, doing music, challenging myself mentally like that, keep my brain wired as much as I can, and then looking at the very steep downhill glide into feebleness of old age over the next few years. So that's a status check right now. The only thing that bothers me a lot is that of all the things I've talked about, I can't do much more about the money. I can certainly increase my mental facilities by staying active, and I can decide whether I want to live here in Nevada or move somewhere else, somewhat dependent on the status of Lori and my interest. I could live anywhere, and right now I'm living my dream in Vegas. When I wake up from that dream, I don't know. I might go back to Pensacola. I just don't know at this point. But that thing about the physical declines, umbilical hernia, falling down, aches and pains that I can't really justify and understand, not being able to sleep well, those are things that really are troublesome right now. So I'll keep track of all that and I'll report again. Status check today, November 2nd, 2023. What time is it? 8:08. Time for 8 o'clock coffee. At least there's coffee. Some things never change.